Welcome back, humans, ghouls, and mutated fools, to Cinderella Phenomenon Rod's playthrough. I am Mara. I'm a mutated zombie, and you're on the channel Beware Mutated Zombies. But you don't need to beware me, because I am very busy. I'm in a rush. I'm just all over the place this week and last week. And yes, but that's okay, because at least we get to find out what's going on with Rod's root in Cinderella Phenomenon. Right now, we're about to find out the truth about something. I'm pretty sure it's about the princess's mom and who she is and all that jazz. So I wasn't left on a cliffhanger, but anybody else who doesn't know what's going on because they're just here for Rod's root and they didn't watch me play Rumple's root or Karma's root, you guys are about to witness something that isn't all that surprising, I guess. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue onwards. The truth? My only answer is silence. I shift my gaze to Rod, but he avoids my eyes. What is going on? Princess, it is very likely that this witch in the palace is looking for you. Oh yeah! Delora sensed a witch in the palace while she was a doll. I forgot that Delora was a doll, too. Yeah. What? I cast a glamour on you a long time ago so that you could remain hidden from magical eyes. I did it to protect you, but this witch in question can see through the spell I've cast on you. It is my belief that they are actively looking for you. I close my eyes and massage the temples of my head as I feel a headache coming on. Wait, you said before that the witches want to see their curses unbroken, but this sounds as if they have another motive altogether. What reasons could they have for trailing me? The Tenebrarum has been without a bearer for a long time, ever since the end of the war. A new bearer, however, will soon arise, and the crystal is ready to support them. Soon arise, and the crystal. Okay, so the crystal is ready to support whoever is the next bearer, no matter what. Gotcha. Okay. Some of the witches, the wicked ones, want to make sure that the Tenebrarum continues to spread darkness, even with this new bearer in charge. Okay, but what does that have to do with me? Delora crosses her arms, her expression grim. The title of the bearer is passed down from one descendant to the next. Princess, the last Tenebrarum bearer was the late Queen of Angiel, your mother. They make this seem a lot nicer so far than the other ones. Also, Parfait looks very disconcerted right now. Like, normally she looks very, peaceful or, like, sad, wistful. Now she looks concerned. It's a new face that I've noticed. I feel my blood go cold. What? As you are the queen's daughter, you are the next heir. Come your 18th birthday, you will inherit the title of Tenebrarum bearer. Mother? A witch? Impossible. Why would you spout such lies? I narrow my eyes at them, searching for some hint that they are lying to me. Delora and Parfait never turn their sad eyes away from me. Rod glances at me briefly before turning away, looking uncomfortable. See, he knew too. Hildur. Your mother and I used to work together to maintain balance. But then the witch hunt drove her mad and turned her heart to ice. Turned her height to ice? What? But she never used any magic. I would have known if she was a witch. It's possible that you did in the past, but then it seems she erased all your memories of her true identity. Delora was already able to ascertain that most of your memories of her had been snatched away. Hildur needed you to remain obedient so that when you finally did inherit her role as the bearer, you would continue to do as she wanted. My thoughts feel as if they are spinning endlessly on an axis. The real reason I cursed you was to see if you are truly capable of goodness, princess. Hildur's influence clung to you even after her death, and we feared that you would continue to her previous work. That Angiel might once again fall to darkness if you were not able to help the dark emotions in your heart. So then you cursed me because you were terrified of what I would do if I became the bearer as I was? My only answer is silence. Now I understand why the people hated me. It was because I am my mother's daughter. I cannot help but reach out to touch the pendants on my necklace as a feeling of dread washes over me. We know that there is goodness in you, princess. We only wanted you to realize it by breaking your curse. Parfait sighs, looking guilty. It was a selfish act on our part, I know. But we could not risk another great war. They believe that I would have plunged the world into a war? I turned to Rod, who has yet to speak since the conversation started. Did you know about all this? Everyone knows the story of the Tenenbaum witch and her daughter. Everyone except for me. I glanced down at my hands, suddenly feeling numb. I'm a witch, and I will become the Tenenbaum's next bearer. Just the thought of it makes me sick. I think back to my childhood. I can still recall the glares that everyone gave me when I was a child. They were scared of me because I was my mother's daughter. And what about the king? Did he never love me because I was the daughter of a witch? But if that's the case, if my mother was so wicked, then why did the king marry her in the first place? Hilda threatened to kill the woman that he loved if he did not marry her. She threatened to kill Ophelia. Also, question about this. This might be an inappropriate question, but how did if he threatened him and didn't cast a spell, then how childborn, how did do? How, I have concerns, many concerns. Ophelia? So the king has loved Ophelia from the very beginning? I clenched my hands into tight fists. After Mother died, he was able to reunite with his true love, and since then he has treated Emmeline and Rod better than he ever treated me, even though I am his daughter by blood. I want to feel angry about this revelation, but instead I feel a dreary emptiness inside of me. A heavy feeling begins to settle in my chest, suffocating my heart. He never really loved me. Lilac? Rod's voice snaps me out of my thoughts, and that is when I realize that a stray tear has made it down my cheek. I quickly wipe it away with the back of my hand, angry at myself for showing weakness in front of them. You must be happy to see me like this. What? Your mother was made queen, and you and your sister became royals overnight. It's like something out of a fairy tale, isn't it? You thought you had the perfect life until I came back into it. I never asked for this to happen. I just wanted to... Rod suddenly moves his hand to Sebby's mouth, muffling whatever other words the plush was going to say for him. What is it you want to say, Rod? It's nothing. I can assure you, however, that the power that comes with the crown has always been irrelevant to my family and I. So stop assuming that everyone around you is after your title or your riches. Did your time with my sister not teach you anything? I'm about to angrily retort when I suddenly stop, my heart sinking. I have already recognized that Emily is more complex than I thought she was. And she has also told me that she never wanted to be a princess. My mother wouldn't have married the king if my father were still here. Delora looks between the two of us and sighs. In here I thought your relationship had improved. Now it seems like it's back to square one. I cross my arms and turn away, annoyed. Do you have anything else to add, Parfait? If not, I would like to return to the palace. Princess. Stay vigilant and be careful about who you trust. Trust? How do you know whom I trust? What makes you even think I trust you? The anger that I was expecting earlier suddenly rises to the surface. For all I know, Parfait and Delora could be feeding me lies, playing with me the way Delora did when she first cursed me. I don't expect you to believe what we've told you. Perhaps it was not yet the right time to reveal everything to you, but please, you need to be careful. I stand up and look at them, my arms now hanging limply at my sides. How am I meant to trust anyone when all of you have been lying to me this entire time? Lilac. If you don't believe us, then try asking the king who Hilda truly is. I never even thought about asking the king about my mother. Rod, you should watch your back too. It's possible that this witch in question could be plotting something against the royal family as well. They have been in the palace for a long time after all. She looks at me, then at Rod, her expression somber. I won't be able to stay with you anymore. I had to pick up and leave a few days ago because I was certain he'd caught a trace of my magic. He probably already has. I understand. Anyway, Lilac is right to return to the palace now. Someone may notice your absence if you're gone much longer. You two should leave now. Let us know if you notice anything unusual. I will. We'll see you again soon, Princess. I like Rod because he's very, he knows the right thing to do and does it, even if he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to go to Viorica's with his sister, but he cares about his sister and doesn't want to see her sad, so he goes. He cares about his family's happiness, so he makes the best of the situation with being a new prince. He doesn't want to help the princess, but like does so anyways, and has even gone so far as to protect her. I see. I like him. I see now. I see. He's still not my kind of cup of tea though, because I'm not really into the younger option in games where it's Otome. I'm also not into like the best friend or the friend next door. Not really my cup of tea. But I can see it. I can see it, okay? I can see it. He's a cool dude. Even though he's kind of annoying sometimes with the whole, I'm not going to help you, and then helps anyways. Like, just stand your ground. Don't give in to peer pressure. I guess he's not, because he's standing firm on his curse bit, but still. Remember, stay vigilant. Rod and I leave the Marchand in silence. Here in the secret tunnels, we are suffocated under even more silence, but still neither of us makes an effort to speak. I am still stuck inside my own mind, sifting through my troubled thoughts. I cannot reconcile the fact that the wicked witch who led the witches during the war was my mother. I did not even realize how many people hated my mother until after she had passed and they spoke about how cruel a queen she was. I never understood why she has always been the perfect person in my eyes. I never connected my mother with a Tenebrar arm bearer, but what Parfait and Delora just told me makes sense. Why does it make sense in this version and you're, like, not as angry about it and you're more willing to accept it than in, like, the version with Karma? What's up with that? Was I living a lie all those years? A lie that my mother crafted so that I remained cold and bitter even after she passed away? And Delora and Parfait say I am meant to inherit the power of the Tenebrar arm from my mother. I do not want that burden. I almost bump into Rod's back when he suddenly stops walking. He turns around and looks at me with a serious expression. I cannot help but feel judged beneath the weight of that gaze. If you're going to tell me that you never wanted me as your partner because my mother was a witch, then I wasn't going to say that. What? I won't lie. The first time I saw you, I thought you were like your mother. You were cold, harsh, and selfish. I never wanted to have anything to do with you. That was why I was so against this partnership, but you've changed. Rod's expression softens. As you and Em have grown closer, I have seen that you are not like your mother. She speaks fondly of you, and I can tell she really enjoys your company. That's why, even if I do not have plans to break my curse, I will still do what I can to help you break yours. It's the least I can do as your partner. That's nice. I stare at Rod in shock. This is the first time he has ever been so nice to me. Why are you staring at me like that? I'm only doing this because you're important to my sister. Sure, that's why you're blushing. Rod turns away, his face beet red. Liar. Rod reaches up to pinch Subby's face. Ow! Thank him. Thank you. Rod turns away, his cheeks dusted pink. It's no big deal. I'm only doing this because I see how dedicated you are to breaking your curse. Because I want to get my old life back. And now that they have told me about my mother... Doggo, no. I want to prove that I am nothing like her. Anyway, I still want to help you break your curse, Rod. Why do you refuse to break it? Rod stares down at his feet, expression melancholy. Because I cannot. Rod stops and shakes his head. He says nothing else, and I do not probe him any more, especially not after seeing the distant look on his face. We walk through the corridor and back to our rooms after we say our goodbyes. I wonder what Rod was going to say. Oh, a happy young princess. Mother, look, Eleanor got me this gift. Eleanor? She is my maid and my friend. Princesses don't make friends with their servants. But she is really nice. She even taught me how to braid my hair like... Those servants are only nice to you because you are the princess. They only pretend to be your friends so that they can have power over you. But Eleanor would never. What reason do I have to lie to you? When have I ever lied to you, little one? You have never lied to me. That is correct. Tomorrow I will remedy the situation. I will hire a new maid. You are not to befriend this one, no matter what she says. But Mother, are you arguing with me, Lilac? No, I'm sorry, Mother. Poor little child. No. It has been days since Parfait and Delora revealed my mother's true identity and the inevitable responsibility I am to have on my shoulders once I turn 18. I have been trying to ask the king about Mother, but he is even busier these days than he was before, and it is impossible to find a single moment in the day to speak with him. It's also kind of odd that you would ask him under the circumstances. You're a maid. Children. The fact that I am a maid makes it even harder to garner his attention. Exactly. Morgan, I'm putting you outside because I need silence right now. Sorry. I'll let her back in when I'm done. When I am on break, I continue to do my duty serving Emmeline. Right now, I am accompanying her as she practices her walk and posture. No. Ophelia has been helping her, pointing out any mistakes she finds. I know how hard this is, dear. I had to go through this training as well before I married the king. Emmeline allows her shoulders to slouch as she lets out an exasperated sigh. That's kind of annoying. I've always hated these lessons. I had thought my posture was fine. This is supposed to be refine it, and yet all these lessons have been doing is hurting my back. Oh, Emmeline, you'll get the hang of this. You just need to keep practicing. But, Mother, I've had this same lesson before. Why must I do it again? Because you slouch when you walk, and that is unbecoming of a princess. Emmeline scowls at her mother, and Ophelia's frown falls away as she bursts into laughter. Mother, you're not helping. The atmosphere in the room is far from heavy as Emmeline and her mother continue to conduct their lessons. It is almost the exact opposite of the lessons I had with Mother. Mother always got angry when I made even the smallest mistakes. I know this is hard, but as the crown princess, all eyes will be on you during the ball. The people there will judge any small mistake you make, which is why you need to be on top form on that night. I know. Ophelia claps her hands. All right, now to start again. Emmeline groans before heading to the far wall and straightening her back. She takes a deep breath, puts a book on her head, and begins to walk again. The book falls from her head on her third step. She sighs, moves back, and starts the process again. Neither of us break Emmeline's concentration by speaking. We stand idly by and watch as she tries time and time again. I am surprised when Ophelia leans toward me and begins to whisper. Lilac, I have been meaning to say this before, but I am grateful that you are friends with my daughter. I look at Ophelia's smiling face with surprise. I never agreed to be her friend. You are not against the princess making friends with her servants? Why would I be? I actually wish more of the staff here wouldn't be so uptight, since I would love for Emmeline to be on good terms with the people who serve. Besides, social status is never an obstacle to friendship. Ophelia shifts her gaze back to Emmeline, who is now picking up the book that has once again fallen from her head. No matter your occupation or status, a friend is always a friend. You've given Emmeline the courage she needs to face the many challenges she has ahead of her. In a way, you're like family, since you're always around us. Like family. Come what may, both family and friends are there for you and will accept you for who you are. Even before I was cursed, Emmeline was always trying to be my friend. That means she knew all along who my mother was and still wanted to be my friend. The thought makes me remember what Parfait told me about Mother threatening to kill Ophelia if the king did not marry her. I turn to Ophelia, curious. Your Majesty, may I ask what you know about the late Queen's rule? Ophelia looks at me quizzically, so I quickly add a thoughtless lie. I was not in Angiel, and I have only heard stories. I just thought it was so hard to believe, with how peaceful things are in the palace right now. The kingdom was a dark place back then. People lived in fear under her rule. The king had no real power over Angiel. The witches had free reign over the kingdom. They cast the fairy tale curse incessantly on a whim. We barely left our houses in fear of becoming cursed. Mother's reign was that terrible? The king still blames himself for the darkness that befell Angiel during that time. This is why he works day in and out to stabilize the country and to put smiles on everyone's faces. I remember long ago how he told me one of the reasons he would always continue to work hard for his kingdom was because he wanted to make a brighter tomorrow for his children. Ophelia looks confused for a few moments, then brushes off the awkwardness with a small chuckle. He helps the family in his own way. Is it possible that he said that with me in mind, and Ophelia's slip-up? But then, maybe he was always referring to Emmeline and Rod. The kingdom's come a long way since then, hasn't it? There are still witches here and there, but most of them don't bother others. I pray that the peace we are experiencing right now will last. I see. Thank you for telling me. It is a bit of a dreary topic, but I am happy to have helped. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to call on me. I know it may not be a traditional protocol for a queen, but then I do not consider myself a typical queen. I try my best to listen to everyone here, regardless of what their title or name might be. I can only nod in her response. Princess or maid, the way Ophelia has treated me has never changed. She has always treated me with kindness, regardless of who I am. I never saw it before because I was always so distant from everyone, but now I see that Ophelia treats everyone here with kindness, regardless of social status. I was always frustrated by the servants when they compared Ophelia to Mother, saying that she was superior. But now, I think I understand why they would make such comparisons. Emmeline dismisses me after my lessons, and I begin to head immediately back to my room. I have just turned a corner when I noticed Sir Alcaster standing before me, scowling. Not you again! Watch where you're going, child. I quickly avert my gaze, not wanting a confrontation. He always looks at me so strangely, almost like he can see into my mind, or is trying to. My apologies, Sir Alcaster. Sir Alcaster nods his head at me stiffly before walking off. You are pardoned, Princess. What? You're being an asshole when you know who she is. I turn to stare after him, but he has already turned the corner. My blood becomes cold. Was that just a slip of the tongue? But how else could he know that I am the princess? Is it possible that he is cursed? No, somehow that does not seem right. But if he does not have the fairy tale curse, he be the witch that Dolores warned me about? He's not. What reason would he have for unveiling his identity then, unless he just wants to intimidate me further? It occurs to me that Fritz still remembers who I am. Did he tell his father about me? Now I am even more confused about whom I should trust. Lilac? I jump when I hear Rod call me. His expression slowly creases with something that looks like worry. You're pale. Did something happen? Would he believe me if I told him? He'd believe you. And also, you guys are supposed to be wary. Sir Alcaster knows I am the princess. Do you think he is the witch Dolores was talking about? I whisper the words to him, and he responds by raising his eyebrows, looking surprised. What makes you say that? This isn't just because the standoffish way he acts, is it? You don't believe me, Rod sighs. I never said that I didn't. It's just that we can't just blindly accuse anyone without any real proof. Rod stares at me for a few moments, then closes his eyes, his eyebrows slightly furrowed in thought. Sir Fitzgerald also remembers who you are. I do not want to be so suspicious of Fritz, but I don't think blindly trusting him would be right either, given these circumstances. You need to stay vigilant around him. If anything happens, you can come talk to me about it. You're worried about me? Rod averts his gaze from me. Of course I am. Wow, you're actually being honest. What? Rod glares at Sebby before pinching his cheek. Anyway, I must leave now. I have a dance to practice for. Dance? But you already know how to dance. What do you have left to practice? Rod does not answer and only walks away. I decide to follow after him. Why did you follow me? I shrug. I wanted to see you practice. To be honest, I want to see him dance. I already know that Emmeline is very clumsy when it comes to dancing, but outside of the one practice with Emmeline, I have never seen Rod dance. Emmeline always gloats on his behalf, but I have yet to witness Rod's supposed talent with my own eyes. Our dance together was so short, I barely had any time to judge him. I did not practice with an audience. Why? It is my preference. Rod is easily embarrassed. Rod groans and pinches one of Sebby's cheeks, glowering. Sorry! Rod reluctantly releases the bunny with a sigh. I noticed you have been talking more lately, Sebby. Oh, that's because Rod here has been saying things that contradict what he thinks or feels. Sebby makes a sound of defeat as Rod once again pinches one of his cheeks. Rod stares at me with wide eyes, and I stare back, beginning to panic. What is wrong? You smiled again. I put a hand to my mouth, flushing. I was smiling again? I never even noticed. It was a pretty smile, Princess. Right, Rod? Rod quickly turns away, cheeks slightly pink. Ah, this child. I did need to practice now, so I would appreciate you leaving. He did not even command me to leave. What a surprise. Emmeline said you were a really good dancer. I want to see it with my own eyes. Why, so you can judge me? I'm not here to judge you. I am sure that I am a better dancer than you. I'm a better dancer. The scowl on Rod's face deepens. I almost smirk. Maybe he is reluctant to show me, but Rod is also full of pride. He is more likely to show me if I pose a challenge. You didn't even answer the question. And are you underestimating my dancing? The others may have forgotten, but you still remember, do you not? I am a princess and was taught by the kingdom's best instructor. I say the words with pride, and I notice Rod's lips twitch in response. It actually makes me feel accomplished to get under Rod's skin when he is usually the one getting under mine. Having the best instructor does not automatically make you the best dancer. I am pretty confident with my own skills. Say what you want, but I will refuse to believe you without any proof. I still say that I am a better dancer than you are. Rod steps forward and pulls me suddenly into his arms, taking me by surprise. He looks at me. Something. Fine then. You'll have your proof. I'll make you swallow those words with this dance. We shall see. Rod starts leading the dance. He glides us into the imaginary rhythm of a waltz. Even without the music, I am able to count the steps in my head as I follow his lead. This is different from that short dance we showed Emmeline. Rod's movements are graceful, his touch gentle as he leads me to an underarm twirl. He's so close. When I come to face him once again, I notice the gentle way he stares at me. The usual hardness of his expression is gone, melted into something relaxed. I find myself staring back at him, looking into his eyes. Perhaps Rod does have some gentleness to him. Our gaze does not break as he twirls me. You have beautiful eyes. Ah! Rod's eyes widen as soon as mine do. He abruptly lets go of my hands and steps back. I can only stare at him, my face warm. Was it me this time? That was more than just a thought, I swear. Rod says nothing, though his cheeks continue to darken with embarrassment. Oh my. Rod and I turn to look at Emmeline, who is hovering by the door. Oh no! Excuse me. Rod quickly walks through the door and out into the hallway, leaving Emmeline and I alone in the room. What just happened? That was a wonderful dance, Lilac. You were watching? I only just saw the last few minutes, but you know, the two of you really did look like a couple. It was sweet. A couple? Oh, you're blushing. I put a hand to my cheek and turn away with a scowl. I am not. Besides, whatever just happened was embarrassing. Do you like Rod? I stare at her. I do not. Also, you are forgetting that I am a maid who could not be with the prince even if I wanted to. He is grumpy and cold. And even though we are not blood related, he is still my stepbrother. If only Emmeline realized how crazy her words were in light of the truth. Emmeline suddenly looks starry-eyed as she giggles at me. Love knows no boundaries, dear Lilac. Besides, he seems to like you. Your brother hates me. Rod can be a contradiction sometimes. How would that even work? Because you're siblings now. Like, it's step-siblings, but still... Like, is it like you married into the family, but you're not adopted? So, like, I have questions about how this works legally. Sometimes he says the opposite of what he feels. It's only when you get to know him as well as I do that you realize what his truths are. I cannot help but think of Sebi, who always speaks Rod's thoughts aloud when they are contradictory. He was always so mean to Viorica when we were young. He would always bully her for being a crybaby, even though he cried far more often. But then I realized that he treated her more special than he did anyone else. Back then I knew that he liked her. I thought that one day the two of them might even grow to love each other, but Emily lets out a long sigh as she directs her attention out the window. His attitude toward her has changed ever since he was cursed. Then they grew even more distant when Viorica found a lover. Is that the reason why you have been going back to the toy shop with Prince Rod, because you want to bring them back together? Emily nods. The three of us were best friends, the three musketeers. It's not the same without Rod. I keep on asking him what's wrong, but he refuses to tell me. He's always been stubborn, but it's not like him to keep secrets. It's really frustrating because I have no idea what I should do to help him. I thought he was just being stubborn with me, but apparently no amount of prodding, even from his own family, will make him budge. Why is he being so difficult? I hope you do not mind me asking, but what do you know about his curse? Emmeline stares at me for a few moments before nodding. You're my friend, Lilac, and I know that I can confide in you. I know that sometimes I am not trusting enough, but I think Emmeline is still far too trusting. We only know that he has the mermaid's curse. I've read this story so many times, hoping that I can figure out some way to break his curse. I think back and realize that I had actually read the beginning of The Little Mermaid a long time ago, but I did not have the chance to finish it because I was caught by my mother. The Little Mermaid is about a mermaid who trades her voice for legs, right? Yes, she does it so she can be with her prince. Rod's voice was taken away, but I'm sure that he was given something in exchange. I've heard that the curses are derived from the original tales, but that they are twisted in some way to fit the format of a curse. I nod slowly, thoughtfully. I have a strong feeling that Rod's curse is related to Viorica, but I cannot draw the connection. But still, Viorica might be the key to understanding his curse. If Rod will not divulge anything, the next best chance we have of understanding his curse might be going through Viorica. Oh! Be careful what you wish for! Chapter 7! Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Now, this is a cliffhanger. This is a proper cliffhanger because we don't know what's going on with the tales and why people were cursed and how to break the curses. This is the lore that we want. We don't care about her mom. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed this episode where we got more romancy with Rod, like official kind of romancy. They danced. There's so many romance tropes in this, like I swear. Alright, but yeah. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, ring the bell, and all that jazz. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. Bye-bye.